Hi, my name's Marion Rose and welcome to another video in my Aware Parenting series. And today I want to talk about screens and aware parenting. Now, aware parenting, if you haven't watched any of mine before, my videos, aware parenting was devised by Aletha Salter, Ph.D. Her website's at awareparenting.com. Now, aware parenting is such a beautiful parenting paradigm because it really looks at understanding children and also understanding adults. So it's really not a paradigm which is authoritarian, neither is it a permissive paradigm. It's really about finding ways to get everyone's needs in the family met through connection, through listening, through understanding, through listening to feelings, through finding strategies and ways that really work for everyone. And I just love it. I'm a level 2 aware parenting instructor. I have 2 kids who are 13 and 9, and I've been practicing it since my daughter, who's 13, was a small baby. And it's really, what I love about it is that even after all this time, I'm still learning, I'm still growing. It's really an ongoing journey of, it's not just a parenting paradigm, it's an ongoing journey of self-discovery. So anyway, I want to talk about screens today because screens have become such a big part of our lives, and it's in such a short time. I know we have had TV for a long time, but really the first iPhone came out, I think it was 2006. First iPad was a couple of years after that. We've got Android, we've got tablets, we've got all kinds of games. Really life has changed in so many ways in such a short time. And so we're really the first generation of parents who are really dealing with this high level of screen involvement in our lives. So not only are we navigating that for ourselves and negotiating it, we're also finding out how does that work with our children. And the amazing thing about screens is, on one level, they can really, really help us because we live in this culture where there often isn't much support for parents. So the fact that the main thing about screens is that they're so inviting, and they can really keep our focus, and they can really keep children's focus. And that can be a beautiful thing when we're really needing some help, where we would have maybe had a family member come and look after our children, where we really need to focus on something. Maybe we need to cook the dinner, or we're doing some work ourselves. We can use screens at times where it really meets our need because they're focused, they're concentrating, and we can get on with doing things. But that very same piece, that amazing capacity to help children focus, can also be the most frustrating thing for us as parents at times. I'm sure you found that sometimes we just really want them to get off. We want them to have dinner, or we want them to go and play, or we want to connect with them, or we want whatever it is, get them to go to school, whatever it is. And that capacity for screens to really draw them in can be the most challenging thing at times. But I don't know about you, when I've looked around and researched things, research will often suggest how much time per day is useful at what particular ages, but so much more than that. And what I love about bringing aware parenting into this picture is, how do we stay connected with our children around screens without using punishments or rewards, which is often the way that parents can get to. They're so frustrated and feel so powerless that they think their only strategy is to use punishments or rewards. But with aware parenting, there are ways that we can navigate this screen world and stay connected with our kids. And there are a few different ways that I think are really important to do that. Number one is getting clear about needs and really understanding what needs screens meet. So for us and for our children, there are so many needs that screens meet. I'm sure if you think about that for yourself, needs for connection and needs for entertainment and for learning, for stimulation and for community. And similarly for our children, entertainment and learning and stimulation as well, and connection, so many needs. They're just a handful out of all of them. And just starting to have that understanding of what needs are being met can really help us, because so often what gets in the way of connection, which is what we really need, we need to be able to connect with our children and our teenagers in order to navigate and negotiate and find strategies. We need to stay connected. But what gets in the way of connection is the unhelpful thoughts we have, the painful beliefs, the beliefs about what might happen to them. I don't know if you've had those, like, oh, you know, if they stay on screens like this, they'll never be able to do X, Y, and Z, or they'll be like this when they're older, or when they're a teenager, they'll be like that, or when they're an adult, they'll be like that. So we have these thoughts about the future. Or maybe we have judgments about our own parenting. You know, if I wasn't doing this, it's because I've done that. So judgments about ourselves. And then there are also memories that we have. So I don't know how things were for you when you were a child and a teenager, but how TV and screens were used in your family, and the feelings that you still carry around that. So those are just a few of the things that get in the way of us being connected with our children and our teenagers around screens. So I really like to invite parents to actually connect with themselves, to start getting clear, what are your needs? What needs are getting met by screen use, by yours and your children's? What needs aren't getting met? What needs of theirs are getting met? Really starting to look and enter into their world and understand them and understand ourselves. Looking at all those unhelpful beliefs and finding ways of being with them differently, so that we're not so taken up with these thoughts about the future, or memories from the past, or judgments of ourselves, because when we're in those, it's almost impossible to actually really connect in the moment with our children. So finding ways to heal and explore those. And then it's really about connection. So getting connected with our children before screens, connecting either through the whole of it, or staying connected, or connecting in and out during screen use, and particularly at the end, connecting before the end is so important, so that we're not just going, right, time's up, or we're being punitive or harsh, which is liable to lead to reaction and big reactions from them. Is finding ways of actually connecting in before the screen time is finished. And that might be just looking at what they're doing. Like, I'm sure if you were in the middle of something, I'm sure you've had this experience before. Maybe your children have called you. Maybe you've been on a screen. Maybe you've been really involved in writing an email or concentrating on something, and someone's called you away or told you to get off. And it can be really frustrating, can't it? If you've got that sense, I've got this thing I really want to finish. Same for our children. If they're at a certain level of a game and they just want to finish that level because they've been for the last 20 minutes they've been really putting all their efforts into gaining the mastery of this level, and we get in and just say, right, time's up, without actually bearing in mind where they are, it will often lead to disconnection. But if we get in and we go, well, you know, where are you, what's going on? We may have even done that at the beginning. If you set an amount of time, how much time do you need, what do you want to do? The more we can be connected with them and their world, what's going on for them, what they're needing, how they can finish, how we can help them finish. So getting in and connecting with them can help them then get off, because we can understand. Or maybe they're in the middle of watching a video and there's another 2 minutes, and so we stay there and watch the end with them and discuss it with them. Again, it's a way of it's almost like joining in so we can guide them away. But if we're not in there and we're kind of coming from here and we're just going, right, okay, we're not really connected with them. And sometimes that does work depending on your child, but sometimes that can really lead to conflict and disconnection and frustration and powerlessness and all kinds of blah. I'm sure you've experienced that. I've certainly experienced those kinds of things. So that's what I really wanted to tell you about today, just really starting to deepen your understanding of what's going on for you around screens, what needs get met, when is it easy for you to get off, when is it hard for you to get off. And then there's a whole control pattern piece, which is a piece in aware parenting, which is understanding when we're using things to actually repress feelings. So that's a whole extra piece to bring in, is understanding when we're doing something to meet a need, when we're getting on Facebook to really meet a need for connection, and when we're getting on there to repress feelings, and the same for our kids. So really understanding what's going on and going for connection. Connection is the key. If I want to give you one thing to take away from today, is to really invite you to be more connected with yourself and more connected with your child or children around screens. And I certainly find when I remember to do that, it leads to so much more harmony and connection and ease around screen time. So if you're interested in finding out more about aware parenting, there are several books that Aletha's written. Aletha Salter, again, here's one that you might like, Tears and Tantrums. She's written several more. You can find out about it on her website, awareparenting.com. If you want to find out more about my work, my website's at marianrose.net. I have lots of articles and videos and audios and la la la. And if you'd like to watch more of my videos, then please subscribe to my channel. I'd love to share more information with you. So thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to talking to you again in another video.